Everybody, so hope you enjoyed the quiz today. So here is the question. So the first one is a clinical image asking you to look at the clinical picture and answer the following questions. Now you can obviously make out that this patient is a male and has got alopecia and an androgenetic distribution. So I hope that is quite obvious. It is an androgenetic distribution. The top is gone, and you can see that there is quite marked scarring here, and this is emphasized and highlighted in the dermoscopic picture. You can see areas of sort of empty hair follicles, white areas, scarred areas, blue gray areas. You see some hair follicles that are broken, cut short. This is because basically they're damaged. This is not trichotillomania. This is simply that you can see there is polytrichia as well. So because of scarring, you see multiple hair follicles coming through one opening, and this often you see in scarring alopecia. There is some scaling as well, you can see on the clinical image. So there is perifollicular scale as well you can make out, and you can make out the perifollicular scale here, white dots, perifollicular pallor as well, which is often associated with inflammation in trichoscopy. So if you're seeing this sort of whitish area around the hair follicle, that suggests inflammation. Now there are two types of white dots. These are sort of irregular large white dots which are often seen in scarring alopecia, but if you see pinpoint white dots, which you're not seeing here, pinpoint multiple white dots are seen in sun exposed skin on the scalp. Normally they're also they signify either sweat glands or just simply follicular openings. They do not signify anything. They are not pathological. They are seen even normally. There are no exclamation mark hairs. All the hairs look pretty normal. There are no exclamation mark hairs, though the hair follicles are in general unhealthy. They seem to be eaten away and distorted. They're not quite exclamation mark type. So clinically, this is a non-scarring alopecia is false because it is a scarring alopecia. This is a double negative question, so please be careful when you're answering MCQs like this. Multiple vellus hairs predominate. In fact, there are no vellus hairs here. Most of the vellus hairs seem to have been destroyed. Though this is an androgenetic pattern, you don't see many vellus hairs here. Most of the hairs here are in fact terminal. White dots are definitely present. Absent follicular openings. As I said, these white dots refer to the absent follicular openings, but here you see completely scarred areas where there are no follicular openings. Blue-gray dots are present, so these are all blue-gray areas. You see blue-gray dots here, so these imply pigment incontinence. Perifollicular scales are present. Black dots are often seen in alopecia areata, refer to broken hairs, and they are absent here. You don't see many black dots. Broken hairs are present, but black dots basically means that the hairs are broken at the level of the skin. They are not present in this case. Broken hairs are present. Exclamation mark tapering hairs are actually absent here. Though I can understand if you thought they were present, but when you say they are present, it usually implies alopecia areata, and this is not alopecia areata. So below are the histological images. So on LOPAR itself, you can see that this is a marked perifollicular lichenoid infiltrate. You can also see that there are areas of complete follicular absence and scarring, and this is highlighted here. You can see a fibrous tract here. The hair follicle has been completely replaced by a scar tissue. This is a fibrous tract. This is sort of perifollicular onion skin type lamellar fibrosis. You can make out here on higher power as well. These are just eccrine glands which are bystanders, innocent bystanders, around the empty hair follicle. So the lichenoid infiltrate is highlighted here. Here the epithelium of the hair follicle is completely destroyed, and eventually it ends up in just a scar tissue. Here this is in the process of getting destroyed. Often you see eccentric thinning of the hair follicle epithelium. So eccentric thinning is quite common. Now there was previously emphasis on premature desquamation of the inner root sheath. So inner root sheath is normally intact, but it desquamates at the level of the isthmus. But if it desquamates earlier, then it is thought to be pathological. But then we have now, looking at multiple horizontal sections, found that premature desquamation is not a really hard sign. And previously it used to be pathognomonic of central centrifugal alopecia, cicatricial centrifugal alopecia, CCCA. But now we know that even that entity is probably just a variant of lichen planus, and CCCA is in fact believed not to exist as a unique entity. And this particular feature, premature discrimination of the inner root sheath, is now not supposed to be specific for this entity, because and this entity itself is questionable. Now, in this picture you're seeing melanophages. So any lichenoid infiltrate, when the epithelium is destroyed, there is melanin incontinence and melanophages. So this is basically melanin incontinence and a few melanophages in between. So this is what you're seeing histologically. So essentially, histologically, what you can say is this is a dense perifollicular lichenoid infiltrate. Given the clinical context, this is lichen planopilaris. However, I didn't give you lichen planopilaris in the diagnosis anyway. Let us first answer this question. So trichomalacia refers to distorted hair follicles which often have hemorrhage within, and the hair follicle epithelium itself appears distorted. I'll just show you pictures of trichomalacia if I can. So let me just see. Yeah, you can see it here. Trichomalacia. Let me just see if I can highlight this, enlarge this image. Just give me 1 second. So trichomalacia, you can see this here. The hair follicle is completely distorted. There's hemorrhage within. So this is trichomalacia. But yeah, trichomalacia is not present here. Then, okay, let us go back to the question. Perifollicular lichenoid infiltrate is present, melanin incontinence is present, swarm of bees appearance. I put this deliberately to confuse you. In fact, this is present, and I give you an answer if you say it's present. But then you have to use your lateral thinking and understand that swarm of bees does not necessarily always imply alopecia areata. Alopecia areata basically is a lichenoid infiltrate against the bulb of the hair follicle. There the infiltrate is also lichenoid. But when the lichenoid infiltrate is higher up near the infundibulum or the isthmus, it's basically higher up, then we call it lichen planopilaris. There's no other difference between them. The only reason alopecia areata is reversible and lichen planopilaris is non-reversible is that in lichen planopilaris, the sort of stem cells that regenerate the hair follicle near the bulge are destroyed. While in alopecia areata, because the infiltrate is around the hair bulb, and hair bulb is a cycling entity, the bulge again produces the entire hair follicle. So alopecia areata is a reversible condition, while lichen planopilaris is therefore non-reversible because the bulge is affected, and therefore the stem cells that produce the hair follicle are destroyed. So swarm of bees basically refers to sort of the swarm of bees around the hair follicle. Usually around the bulb is what we call the swarm of bees appearance, but I'll give you the mark if you have said yes to this, because this is definitely the swarm of bees, but not against the bulb, but against the infundibulum and in the isthmus area of the hair follicle. Okay. Then concentric perifollicular lamellar fibrosis present, miniaturization of hairs is absent. You don't see much miniaturization. These are all terminal hairs. This is maybe a small miniaturized hair, but that's a vellus hair, but one vellus hair within about 4 hairs does not mean anything. Empty fibrous tracts are present. So the final diagnosis, and I hope some of you have got it right, 1/3 approximately have got it right. The final diagnosis here is lichen planopilaris in a pattern distribution, and this particular entity is now called fibrosing alopecia in a pattern distribution. It is not DLE, you're not seeing any basal membrane thickening, you're not seeing mucin, and the clinical is not DLE. Syphilitic alopecia, of course, can present as anything, but I've not given you any clues to suggest this is syphilis. There's no plasma cells, and I've given you no history to suggest it's syphilis. Trichotillomania, there's no trichomalacia. Pseudopallard of Brock is essentially a dustbin diagnosis where you see end-stage scarring alopecia. You don't even see an inflammation, you just see a lot of scarring and absent hair follicles, and you actually don't know what the diagnosis is. And so it's a dustbin diagnosis, and nowadays we don't use this name anymore. Dissecting cellulitis is a neutrophilic scarring alopecia, so that is ruled out. There are no neutrophils, and alopecia areata, I told you, is clinically as well as histologically is ruled out. So the answer is lichen planopilaris, but in a pattern distribution, and therefore this entity is called fibrosing alopecia in a pattern distribution. I suggest you look it up if you've not heard of this entity. It's a relatively recent entity described in the last 10 to 15 years or so. Okay, so I hope this quiz was stimulating and educative at the same time.